So I had no idea that before I was going to profile this deck, it was going to win LCS number 8, going undefeated and be the most represented deck in Top Cut. It's pretty crazy, but that says a lot about the deck. What's going on, you guys? Slim here to bring you guys my version of Virtual Worlds for this November 2020 format. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell. You guys will be notified whenever I upload. You guys will be notified when I stream over on Twitch. Link is in the description. If you guys want to build this deck, and I hate to say it, I really hope you guys picked up these cards beforehand, but if you're still trying to build this deck, and I suggest you do because the deck is absolutely amazing. It's one of the few combo decks your boy loves. Please use my TCG player link in the description below. A portion of what you spend goes back to the channel. It helps me out and I really do appreciate it. And last but not least, if you want to further support the channel, please consider joining my Patreon. 4 different tiers, nothing over $10, a bunch of awesome rewards. And with that being said, I want to give a huge shout out to my newest patron, Huang Jiayu. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for joining the Patreon family. Again, if you guys want to further support the channel, links in the description. With all that out of the way, you guys, we're going to get into it. So I decided to I repeat, not change my deck from the way I originally had it, even though I was influenced by the LCS results. So what I decided to do this time was I'm going to show you guys the build that I had right before the LCS took place. I'm going to show you the changes that I would make, because obviously I would make some changes. They're not huge, but I think the thing you guys will appreciate about this particular profile is I decided to go a little bit more on a budget route than I normally would. I decided to not play cards in the main deck like triple tactic talents and stuff like that, and because of that we're able to actually just play like more hand traps and stuff. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. Smash that like button. As always, you guys have been killing it. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. This is actually one of my favorite decks to come out in a really long time. I gave the deck a chance and I've just been really enjoying it. So we will get into it for you guys. So I'm going to go a little in depth because I don't think a lot of people even now know what all the cards do, but we have 3 copies of Virtual World Lulu, 3 copies of Virtual World Lao Lao, 3 copies of Virtual World Gigi, 3 copies of Virtual World Lily, and 3 copies of Virtual World Nian Nian. So I'm going to explain them real quickly. So this is one of your few normal summons. You don't really have any normal summons in the deck, but what this card lets you do is basically if it is in your graveyard, you summon a level 3 what do you call it? A level 3 monster is normal or special summon. You special it from the graveyard. It becomes a tuner, so it helps you go into your level 6, your level 9, your rank 3 plays. And also, if this card is banished, it lets you shuffle back a banished Virtual World card into your deck. So that includes your banish face down as well. So that's why it has really good synergy with Pot of Desires. So this is like I said, one of your few normal summons. It's also summonable off of Emergency Teleport just for like an extra extender. Lily is your double Foolish Burial. So all these cards have like double effects. The first effect is always targeting a Virtual World card you have on the board and then sending the opposite card. So if you target a monster, you can send a spell or trap. If you target a trap, you can send a spell or monster. You target a spell, you can send a trap or a monster, etc., etc. Lily, though, being a double Foolish Burial, if you target a trap, you're going to send a spell, and then you have the option to send a monster. Same thing depending on what the setup is. This card's great, though, because it helps you set up your Queen Long. It helps you set up your Nian Nian engraved. The ideal opening, if you did get to the city, is being able to activate the trap from the deck. Lily, target the trap, send Nian Nian, and send Queen Long, and then you have basically all your plays on board. So card's amazing. 3 copies of Gigi. So this could potentially be your other normal summon. A lot of times, it's not really like what you want to normal summon, but sometimes it does come up. This card is basically a Skarm. Those of you that are familiar with Burning Abyss. So same thing, you'll target, you'll send, and then at the end phase, this card lets you add a Virtual World card from your deck to your hand. So that's pretty good. This card does have really good synergy with the deck. All of them being 3s and 6s helps you make all your plays. These are the all-stars though, Lao Lao and Lulu. So Lao Lao is your monster reborn for Virtual World monsters. Same thing. You target a spell or trap, you send the opposite. Like I said, none of that is going to change, but the thing with Lao Lao is that it is a level 6 tuner that is very strong, has really good synergy with the trap as well. It's in graveyard effect to help you make rank 9s, and this just helps you make a lot of your synchro plays for your 9s, and it being a monster reborn is great, because a lot of times you can reborn like a Lily or a Gigi, and then you can summon a Nian Nian if you did reborn the Gigi, or you reborn a Lulu, so there's a lot of synergy there. It's easily one of my favorites. And then of course Lulu, the one that went through the roof. This is basically your Stratos of the deck. Literally you target, you send, and then you search a Virtual World card. This card is just amazing. It's a level 3 tuner. You can also summon it off of Emergency Teleport. So that's all the Virtual World monsters. I maxed out on all of them. I feel that's 100% correct. I would not change that. I don't like the builds that are running 2 copies of Nian Nian. I understand why they are, but I feel that you need to actually max out because of Pot of Desires, and just because any 2 Virtual World cards can basically get you to VFD and just more combos. Probably the best card in the deck is the 3 copies of Kowloon. The reason why Kowloon is so strong is you activate it. It has a bunch of effects based on what you have have, but that's not the important part. When you're going first, it lets you activate the trap or a spell from your deck, put it on the board. The beauty of this is being able to activate the trap, because then all your virtual worlds target a trap and then send the opposite cards. This card is just amazing. You really want to open this as much as possible. This card is great as your, one of your main starters. And then, of course, the Quilong, this card, I mean, I can't believe this card's a common, but this card literally has two amazing effects. Its first effect, you banish a virtual world card, and then you can target a card on the board and negate it. That's insane. It helps you out real problematic monsters. But its in-graveyard effect is really what you want. You banish it from the graveyard, search a virtual world monster, and then discard a card. So if you have anything dead in your hand, you can get Nian Nian into the grave. You can search and dump. So card is very, very strong. You max out on all of these. And then the last card, the main trap, your Trident of the deck, as you would call it, is the 3 copies of the Virtual World Gate Chuchi. I think it's Chooch, I don't really know, but basically you shuffle back 2 Virtual World cards, 2 banished Virtual World cards into your deck to pop a face-up card. Not only that, you can banish it from the grave and then manipulate levels up by 3 or down by 3. I can't tell you guys how insane this card is for the deck. So those are all the Virtual World cards. I know we took a long time explaining all those, but I want you guys to be more familiar with the deck in case you weren't from any other profiles or you haven't really been paying attention to what the cards do. That's a quick rundown of what everything does. So I maxed out on everything in Virtual World. I feel it's 100% necessary. I wouldn't cut any of those cards. So since I'm not maining triple tactic talents, I am playing more hand traps. I'm playing 9 hand traps in the deck. I'm playing 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash, and then the Gamma Driver package. And I know you guys have seen all these hand traps in pretty much all my lists. Doesn't really change. Nibiru is still insane. Very good in the mirror match, actually. So this card is extremely good against Virtual World because a lot of times if they don't play around Nibiru correctly, you can just punish them. Ash is the most generic. Very good against this deck as well. You just Ash the first card, hope they don't have more. Gamma really shines though. Like I said, Nian Nian can bring back banished cards. So if you banish the driver off Desires, you can put it back in the deck. Reason why Gamma is the best hand trap in his deck is all of these Virtual Worlds activate in hand. So you have no monsters on the board, you chain Gamma, you get Gamma Driver out of the deck, then you get to get your plays going. Driver being level 6, that's right, this card you never want to draw is actually level 6, comes up a lot. The fact that Ash is also a level 3 tuner comes up a lot. These certain plays, these certain little things about these cards, as being a 6, as being a 3, and a tuner, come up more than you guys can imagine. So trust me when I say these cards are all extremely important in the deck. And the only change I would probably make, and this is just something in testing, is I would probably swap out the Nibirus to play the triple tactic talents, but I'm not doing that just yet. I understand why people, I understand why the first place list played this. This card is insane. I definitely like this more than Foolish Burial Goods. I don't like Foolish Burial Goods at all. I tried it. I hated it. I would definitely play this, possibly in place of Nibiru, but again, more testing needs to be done going forward. So don't even worry about this if you guys don't have talents. Just play the build like this and you'll be fine. Nibiru just got another reprint in gold, so you guys should have access to it. That's it for the hand trap, and then just the power spells. Triple Desires, because you play 3 of everything in this deck. I mean, there's no reason not to play this. Emergency Teleport, you have 9 targets actually, because you have 3 Nian Nian, 3 Lulu, and the 3 Gamma. So this card is always live. This card is insane. Please bring it back to 2. I know you guys are gonna hate that, but so the difference in my lists, I know some lists play Upstart, some lists play Skill Drain. I never put Skill Drain or Upstart in the deck. Instead, I chose to play Called by the Grave and Monster Reborn. So these are my last 2 cards to make the deck 40 cards. The reason why I played Called by, I need my plays to resolve. This card is amazing. It can just, it's very high impact. You know, if they ash any of my stuff, being able to Call by the Grave, it is fantastic. Now, Reborn is a card I saw none of the lists play. Now, I can completely understand why. They play Skill Drain, stuff like that. I never tested Skill Drain. Like I said, I'm not going to change the list because of the LCS. This was the list I was playing before. Reborn has been amazing for me. You guys saw the crazy board I put up before. I think I showed you guys on Twitter, on Instagram. It was because of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn was that extender I needed. If any of my plays get stopped or if I make a synchro play, being able to reborn another card just helps me so much, and I value that over the Upstart Goblin a lot more. I never tested with Skill Drains. I don't really have any knowledge on it, but to me, Monster Reborn was the perfect card to put in its place. So that is it for my main deck, and that's the choices that I made for this particular build. Obviously, it will change going forward. Not by that much, but I think it's a very, very solid skeleton for you guys to get started with. That's it for the main deck. On to the extra deck. This extra deck is insane, honestly. You play the 1 copy of Shinshin. This is literally your Macrocosmos. Comes back every turn. It's crazy. 1 Croco Dragon. This card is crazy too. Very good against Zoo. Pac talked about this in his profile. You know, shout out to you, Pac, for getting 2nd place with Virtual World. This card is insane. Like, you literally just play the control with this, the trap, and GG, because being able to add cards, discard 2 cards to pop a monster is insane. This also helps you draw cards. Vermilion Mech. This card is amazing too. Being able to add back tuners, being able to pop cards. Super super strong. Cloud Castle helps you make your VFDs. You can make 2 VFDs as well. Being able to get your monsters back is super important. Cloud Castle just brings back Shin Shin. Like, you manipulate this, turn it into, turn this into a level 6, get a level 3 tuner, make a 9, make a Cloud Castle, bring this back, and then there you go. There's your VFD. There's a lot of crazy synergy there, and these are the level 9 synchros that we play for all of that. Then for the level 6s, I have the Charge Warrior and the Coral Dragon, as well as the Juju. Both of these draw cards, one's a tuner, one's not a tuner, just comes up. This being able to attack all your opponent's monsters is amazing. There's a card in the extra deck I don't play, but I will talk about about it when we get to it. And then Juju is literally... can be destroyed by battle or card effect. Very good against Zoo if it has 2 materials. You can't get this off the board. It lets you special. If you destroy it, it lets you summon 2 virtual worlds from your deck. So it's all crazy. These 6s are all very, very good. And then the package I played that not a lot of lists played, but I did play Tzolk'in and Crystal Wing, so these are something that could potentially change in the future. I played this just because in some of the early lists I saw this was the route they were going, and I really liked it. You can make Tzolk'in because you just need a level 6 tuner and a level 6 regular monster, so you can even make it with the synchro plays, and then just being able to set a spell, summon Crystal Wing. There's also ways to play around Nibiru because of this, so this was very strong. I don't know if it will stay in here. There'll be some changes probably in the future. We'll talk about those after the rest of the monsters. Then, of course, the WinCon double True King of all calamities. I don't know why this card is still around, but we're going to play it. I chose to play in my build the Fan, so this card's very good. You use Fan effect, you detach your materials, then you go up into Gaia. Gaia helps you pierce. After you Gaia, you summon Zeus, and it's pretty crazy. I feel all these cards are necessary. Now, the change I'll probably make is potentially Fan. If you guys are wondering what I would change it for, probably for an M7. Also, I should be playing, I'll have it up on the screen somewhere, Utopia Beyond. Completely forgot that card when it came to the level 6 synchros, but that card is amazing. It turns all monsters to 0, then you punch with Stardust, charge, and you just win, so it's pretty crazy. M7, though, is a generic 6. It comes up a lot, so basically you could replace the Fan with this, and then the same rules apply. Bounce a card, summon this, attack, summon Zeus. It's amazing. Zeus is ridiculous in this deck. You can get the card to, like, I think 4 materials, so it's pretty crazy, but I really like the card in this deck. You only need 1 copy. And then last but not least, I play the Break Sword. So this card does come up. It is able to pop any card, so you can pop your Quinlong sometimes for, the search effect, and you can just, you can do stuff with it, which is fine. Obviously, you want to pop, attack, and then you can Zeus over it. This card is fine. You could also play, if you're not a fan of Breaksword, you could play Jaja. That's another option. This is a Dragoon out. It does banish the card. I just haven't tested Jaja enough, but Breaksword has been fine. It does come up in some weird scenarios, and as far as rank 3s go, it's probably one of the best. But that's it, you guys. That is my build. I've talked about the changes I would make going forward, but I felt it's not fair to change my deck into a carbon copy of the list that won just because it won. This was the list I was playing before all of that, so I wanted to show you guys that. And also, in a weird way now, give or take, it's semi-budget-ish. If you had all these cards beforehand, all this stuff, has been reprinted multiple times, and, Nibiru over Talents, price-wise, is just better. I think Nibiru is very strong, and it's going to be hard for me to not play into the main deck, but we'll see. Talents is one of the few changes I would make, but I really hope you guys picked up Virtual World when it was cheap. This deck is very, very strong. I really like it. All these monsters are insane. They just do so much, for all the level 9, level 6, rank 9 strategy. It's pretty crazy. I'm also going to have the side deck over on Patreon for you guys, as well as some other interesting things that you can do with this deck. But please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy playing Virtual World, let me know any changes you would make. I talked about the ones I would make. I'd love to hear yours, and we're definitely going to continue to see this deck do well in events, and this will be a deck you will consistently see here on the channel. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.